Meghan.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
Isn't that a cool way to start the show?
That's beautiful. I like it. I sound terrified and awkward all at the same time.
I practiced that for a few hours this morning.
Did you?
Different ways to say Meghan.
Yeah.
And I think I picked the right one.
Yeah, it was pretty non-threatening. Pretty good. I like it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show today.
It's nice
I do
having
that
you.
joke way too much, but I like it. I don't care. That makes me laugh.
No, I love it.
I don't give a shit.
It makes me laugh. That's all that matters.
No, it's
That's
true. At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Right.
So, you're a YouTuber, a singer-songwriter, a podcaster who has a podcast called Adventures in Roommating.
Yes.
You're on the series Sex-ish.
Yeah.
You worked with Morgan Spurlock, which, who, if people don't know who that is, Super Size Me guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the 3 female-oriented series he's producing. And actually, one of the other ones is Jillian Rose Reed. She's in it, who is we're sisters on Awkward.
Her and I still have yet to meet, but
Okay.
we know so many people around each other. Like, I know her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
I know Marty.
You're just on his podcast.
I was just on their
Like, that's with
podcast,
Brett
but I knew
Brown.
Marty a year before that through a friend, Ron Pope, who also knows Jillian. And so it's like the fact that her and I haven't met, we might be the same person. I've never seen us in the same room together at the same time.
Holy shit.
You kiss
saying.
Wee Sam too.
Yeah, she kissed me on the show.
Well,
yeah, there you go.
It was pretty good for me, I'm just going to say.
It was good. You have so many mediums and
Yeah.
podiums. What do you think is the most influential one you have right now? Because you also have a blog.
Ooh. The most influential. I think YouTube is probably one of the most influentials for me, but my favorite is probably the podcast. I
Why
love
is that?
podcasting. I think like on YouTube, I've been lucky the fact that so many people join YouTube and they play a character. And so I started in 2006 when I had no idea what it was going to be. So I just always have been myself. And so I'm very, very honest and forward, and I'll cry in a video. I'll be angry in a video. Like, I'll do whatever in a video. But on the podcast, it's like you're not even concerned about being seen. So it's just a whole new level of like opening up and intimacy. And I do the podcast with my roommate, my best friend, Keith. And so it's just like we're always digging way into these stories and these experiences that I might lightly touch on in a YouTube video, but I probably would never go as in depth or be as irreverent when I'm talking about it because I'd be so nervous about the comments and people being like, "This doesn't." I mean, on podcasts, it's a whole different world where people are willing to kind of go along with you on the journey and sit for an hour and
Right.
listen to you talk. So it's just a different. I enjoy both of them, but I would say lately podcasts. That's the one that I see the most response to, that people are quoting and people are asking questions on.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely feel that way as well, especially doing the live aspect, which we are live on Facebook right now.
Right?
Hello.
I'm tweeting out right now because I forgot to do it.
You tweet out and then I'm gonna retweet.
Oh, shit. No, that's one of my favorite things because there is no going back. It's all going forward with the way
Yeah.
we do things on the podcast, which I like. And and just being comfortable and be like, we're just going to have a discussion, and just talk. And it's much
Yeah.
more freer that way.
I think I've only had to edit our podcast twice, and it was both times when Keith screwed up. And I was so angry about it. Like, I cut out the part that I had, and then I left the fight in that resulted from me having to go and actually edit it, because I just enjoy the fact that we do it. I just put the intro and the outro, and then it's done. And
had a fight?
Well, it wasn't a real fight. It's like our kind of fight, where it's just like we just give each other shit for however long. But yeah, so I really enjoy that aspect of like, it's almost just stream of consciousness, the way we talk about things. And by the end of the podcast, I remember what we talked about. Like, people will reference things and I say, well, that sounds like something I would say, but I have no idea. I
Right.
just kind of, it's like my therapy. It's my hangout time with my roommate. It's good.
So you've been uploading videos to YouTube. That was your first like major platform
Yeah.
since 2006.
Yeah, 2006.
So it's 2016.
It is.
So would you say there was a lot of some growth that happened between now and then, you as a person?
Yeah, I mean, I was 19 when I started and I'm 30 now. So like,
Definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so
I would hope so.
So
I
every
would hope
major,
so,
I know,
but yeah.
that'd be great if I was like, no, I'm exactly the same, you guys.
This is me. This is who I am. That was a weird voice.
Not apologizing for it.
No, but you ever go back and watch some of your early videos and be like, oh, Meghan from 2007, what are you doing?
I try to avoid it. Sometimes people will like, someone favorited a video from like 8 years today, and I saw it in my Twitter, and I couldn't even click on it because I was like, I don't even know who that person is at that point. Some of them it's interesting to go back to, and I can see the growth. Like, I always felt really comfortable in front of the camera, but I realized like even now I was still a little bit awkward. Like I've come a long way in that respect. And I think like when I was like 25, I thought I had it all figured out. I was like so on top of everything. And now at 30, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Like I'm constantly relearning everything about myself and the world every day. So it's cool to have like a little time capsule where I can go back and, I mean, terrifying if I ever have kids. And I'm like, this is mom at 19 or 20 on the internet. Like, no, it's bad news. But it's interesting to go back and see how far I've come because I forget a lot of the things that have happened to me. And it's interesting to see like there's sometimes like similar situations, whether it's relationships or friendships or work or whatever will happen. And it's interesting to see a video now talking about it as opposed to like a video in 2007 or 2008. So it's been a good way to kind of figure out how far I've come. But I feel like a different person than when I started for sure.
Well, it's really interesting, like just us as humans, we go through these like repetitive cycles. And in Buddhism, I think it's called like samsara cycles, where it's we make the same mistakes over and over and over again until something happens. Yeah. And one of those cycles that is just like, first off, it's usually an awareness where you're like in a cycle. You know what I mean?
You're like, I've been here before.
Right. So let's like take just an example, which is somewhat common for people who are like in a relationship, which is you're abusive in the sense of you guys fighting all the time, and the communication's not great. So what will happen is the honeymoon period happens, right? When you first meet this person, and then it'll go into, you're getting to know the person a little bit more, right? And then, like little things start bothering you. Those little things become big problems. Then you start fighting and you get into a huge fight and then you make up and back into the honeymoon phase. And you begin to get addicted to that honeymoon phase because going from that super high fighting, like that one end of the spectrum to the other end, it becomes an addictive cycle. Like you yearn for that, especially when you start getting to the end of the honeymoon phase, you unconsciously start wanting to fight.
You're like, I need to fight about something because I want to like you again.
Isn't that the most weirdest thing to say out loud? That makes no fucking sense. But a lot of people do that. Yeah. And then something happens after cycle, whether it be an outside event or, just something that happens internally, and you become aware and you're like, you take a step back. And that's when the possibility of you breaking that cycle could happen. So
I feel like you're giving me relationship advice right now, and I really appreciate it.
I'm actually going, well, aside from relationship, I feel like I do that to myself as a person. Like, I hate you. I'm good. I like myself.
Well, that kind of cycle happens in it can be applied to your job, the way you attack your art form, whatever, or a craft, or your workouts. You know what I mean? It could be applied to anything. That samsara cycle, the pain cycle, and it's just curious to know. I was curious because, like you were saying, like sometimes similar problems were coming up. And do you have an example maybe of like something that you broke?
I don't know. I'm like, have I broken me sleeping with emotionally unable or emotionally untouchable and whatever men? Some of them, I mean, okay. I think certain relationships have ended over the course of me kind of being online and being very present, I guess, publicly, and situations that may not have come to a head or have gone through what they went through if I weren't so public about my life. Like last year I was disowned by my father, and that was like a big thing. Wow. Where that probably the things that were leading up to that and the secrets that were going on in his life and all these things, I probably could have gone a few more years, but because in so many areas of my life, I talk about really getting rid of toxic people and really like speaking up when you feel like you've been hurt and being true to yourself. I think that probably came to a head a lot quicker than it might have, which I'm very thankful for because I'm very, very happy without my dad in my life.
I'm so sorry. I misunderstood. You disowned your father.
No, he disowned me, but I feel like it's probably getting to the point where I would have had to say goodbye.
I'm just
he officially disowned me, but the reason it got to that point was because I was really confronting him about certain things and was kind of fed up with the treatment of just people in my life, my mom specifically. And I don't know that I would have had probably the strength or the ability to be as public about what was going on, or to probably not be super in my feelings about it and then go back into that very toxic kind of relationship. in a lot of ways, it's almost like previous me kind of built myself up to do something that I don't think present me was quite at the point that I could do it yet. And I feel like that about a lot of videos I do. When I'm talking about stuff, it's like I feel this and I believe it, but sometimes I'm giving myself a pep talk, and sometimes I'll come to like a problem and I'll go back on a video and I'll kind of reflect, and I'm like, it's almost like I knew the answer before I even got here. I don't know why I'm struggling so much now because I've already talked about this. It was easier to talk about when it's someone else's problem.
You knew the answer before you got there.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting place to be.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been there.
I feel like it happens a lot to me where I'm like, oh God, I've already dealt with this. Why?
Well, that goes back to that cycle thing.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the awareness, like, shit. Oh, fuck, man. There's a great story. It's not a story. It's a saying in this book I'm rereading. It's called, I brought it up on the podcast, the Tibetan book on living and dying.
It's like your favorite book.
It's one of my favorites.
Tibetan living and dying.
It talks about on day one, I'm really paraphrasing here. Day one, I walked down an alley. I fell into a hole. It wasn't my fault. I got out of the hole. Day two, I took the same alley. I fell down the same hole. It's not my fault. I got out of the hole. Day three, I know I'm taking the same alley. I fell into the hole. I know I'm in the hole.
Yeah.
It's my fault. And day four, I take a different path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something like that.
Sometimes you just have to, you kind of got to go up against something a few times, and then you figure out, like, this hurts. I don't like this. Let's not do this again. So
it's repetition.
Yeah.
Till you get out of it.
Yeah.
It's very painful too. What's up, Jordan?
I have a question just in general with because you said you've been doing this for so long online, and what was like the force that either whether it was what got you started or what kept you continuing to do this for so long? Because I mean, it seems like it's amazing to have so much logged on your life and have so many people follow you, but like what got you to that point in the beginning stages to keep going with it? I
think early on I made friends that were also doing the same thing, and we didn't live in the same place. Now we all like live down the street from each other, I feel like. But I think that kind of interaction kept me going. The fact that like it wasn't just me going through something, because obviously you're dealing with comments and you're dealing with hate and you're dealing with all these opinions. And when, I didn't grow up, obviously none of us grew up, well, now they're growing up doing this, but being exposed to the world in that kind of way. And so it was very new for me. And dealing with kind of, bullying or hate on that kind of level and publicly. But I had all these friends that were doing the same thing and getting the same reaction. And we all kind of got to go through it together and like reinforce each other, what we were doing. Yeah. And I think in a lot of ways, like there have been moments where I've taken a step back where it's like, okay, I took a few weeks off, I didn't make a video, or I took a month off, I didn't make a video. Like, and that, they try to scare you in the YouTube world of like, you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose all the momentum. But I think it's important to take breaks occasionally and maybe, do a ton of content so that you're covered for the month that you're taking off. But that's been really important for me. Taking breaks, also being able to differentiate between like what's real and what's not online, and understand that everyone's perception of me is going to be different, and like not everyone's going to love me because people don't even love themselves. Like, why would I expect them to love me? And having those friends that are also going through similar things, like we get to kind of just go out and go to a bar or go out to a movie and have a real life outside of the internet, and it's very refreshing. That's
really interesting. You say perception of you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because before
this is where you wanted to go.
Yeah, because I like when Jordan brought you up.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, Meghan Tonjes would be a good guest." I was like, "Okay, I'll look her up."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
"There's a lot of butt photos, I'm sure."
Oh yeah, we'll get a little bit into that. Which, by the way, there's some story, not what you did, but how something that you posted.
Yeah.
The reaction it got, it just made me so upset, and it just shows you the double standard in this industry, just in this world, just in general.
Yep.
Triple standard, I should say, or quadruple, or multiple standards.
That's okay. God is good. I posted some good butt photos today, so everything works out in the end. I'm so proud of him. I'll pass my phone around the room. I'm so proud of him.
So I was like doing research on you. I'm like, Jordan, who is this person? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, how do you even explain me?
Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm like,
no,
what is she? She's not. We've had YouTubers on. She's talking a lot about sex. Like, I don't know why she's a good guest to have on our show, man.
Yeah, it's true.
And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go into your world.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be something I could pop up if, if Jordan recommended you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I started.
No.
I started watching your videos, and there were a few things that popped up. And the first thing I want to talk to you about in depth is in 2014, you posted a picture of you in some underwear.
Yeah.
I believe it was. It looked like a swimsuit. It didn't even look like a really that scandalous photo of your butt, which is fine. If people want to post pictures of their butts, I'm
Absolutely.
like, okay, go for it. Big butt, small butt, no
Yeah.
butt,
All
big
butts.
butt, all butts.
All butts.
Great. And then you said it got flagged and it was removed, correct?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You got the Kardashians posting nude photos. Nobody's taking those photos off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that really upsets me, and it kind of springed this momentum for you, this something. What came from that, you think?
Well, it was at the time that it happened, it wasn't like I was posting a bunch of like photos of me being half naked. It was like this was a rare occurrence that I posted a photo like this. Like my body had gone through a change. I'd lost some weight, and I just felt like really confident. Like I was still a big girl, but I just felt good. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like I was a kid that grew up not wearing like shorts and going in bathing suits and stuff. Like I was not the kind of person to ever show off my body. And I posted this photo. I got flagged as pornography. And I did what I always do, I guess, in that situation where my mom, I grew up always being told like the squeaky wheel gets the oil and like, just whatever. I'm from the Midwest, special sayings. And I hate moments where it feels like something is unequal and something is like unfair towards anyone, especially me. And so I made this video saying, I think it's bullshit. Like the reason this got flagged is not because it's pornography. The reason this got flagged is because someone's uncomfortable with my body specifically.
Right.
And I don't want to see it, so no one should see it. And that was kind of the mentality, I think. And that's the mentality on the internet a lot. But Instagram didn't have anything in place to ever, balance and check that in any kind of way. And so I made this video. It got big. That they responded and they apologized and they put the photo back up and they were like, hey, we don't always get it right. Once they responded, it got even bigger because someone's behind the curtain at Instagram all of a sudden. And for me, it was like, and it still is like very weird for me to look at this moment where all of a sudden I felt like in charge of something, like Booty Revolution kind of happened. And it felt like moving forward, I was like, okay, I really have to own this. Like, this is something I feel comfortable doing. I have to be comfortable with this on a huge scale. And hopefully, like, this goes beyond just like, I want attention for my body, which is whatever. It's fine. Like, everyone wants some kind of feedback or attention in some kind of way. But for me, it was like, I've never seen anyone that looks like me feeling positive or not starving themselves, waiting to get to a point where they can be happy. So for me to get up and post a photo where I'm in a bathing suit or I'm in my underwear or whatever, and be like every other 30-year-old girl in the world, hopefully feeling good about herself, or going to the beach and feeling good about herself, for me, it was like, I felt like I had a huge responsibility to do that and to invite other people into doing it. So now it's like, it's cool because my favorite comments that I get right now are ones where it's like, I see your pictures, I think your body's beautiful, and then I start to realize my body looks like yours and I can't be as kind to my body. Like, I don't feel that way about my body. And it's like a moment that they're having that's like a ripple effect of something that just for me at this point is like, I just feel good. I want to post a photo and I feel good. And they're not at that place yet, but they're trying to find kindness for themselves because they see me and they're like, that's beautiful. Why can't I find that for myself? Which is really cool thing and very like scary to also be involved in, because I mean, once you figure out what it is that makes you unhappy and you make the conscious decision every day to be happy, to like, it's not, you don't wake up and say, oh, I just want to be okay with my body and it's going to happen. Like, that's not how it works. But when certain behaviors and thoughts come into your head or happen in your life, and you're able to look at them and say, okay, this does not line up with where I want to go, and I'm able to say no to that or to walk away from that, that's huge. And those little things add up. And so I just feel very lucky with it. It's like a weird, what has actually happened now I'm thinking about it? My grandma passed away a few months before this happened. And I remember at the time, I actually remember having like a conversation out loud where I was like, I need something good to happen. I just need something good to happen. And this happened at the time. It didn't feel good because I was like, my ass is all over the news. My parents are from the Midwest and I'm getting a phone call tonight. And so it was not great. And every horrible thing that's ever been said about my body was said during that time in like the BuzzFeed comments. Like, it was awful. But it was a blessing. I feel like that was definitely sent my way, and like a responsibility that luckily I was able to meet. Hopefully.
Censorship is a huge problem in this country, just in general, because like you hit it on the head. Well, I'm offended by this, so I don't want to watch it, and so nobody should watch it. It's like no.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff I don't agree with, and there's some stuff I'm actually offended by.
Oh yeah.
So what do? Change the channel or not open that window? Like,
yeah, fair.
That's all you have to do. Unfortunately, people feel like this. Oh gosh, what is the term? Some type of. Oh man, it's almost like a social justice warrior for like the wrong term, for not the wrong term, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Fair. I think, I mean, even depending on the stuff that I talk about, I get called a social justice warrior. And I'm even one of the people that's like, you can believe whatever it is you believe, and you can do whatever it is you want to do. If it infringes on other people's rights or it hurts other people, we're going to have a fucking conversation. And I can acknowledge that you can believe and think whatever you want, and try to have some empathy. That's something I'm working on lately, is like try to have empathy for the fact that not everyone grew up believing the same things or has been exposed to the same things as quickly as I have or whatever, and to have some compassion for people. But it's also, I enjoy sometimes having those conversations where I'm like, okay, we don't agree, but maybe we can find some kind of common ground that instead of just screaming at each other.
No, screaming's better.
Yeah.
I like screaming.
I mean, that's too.
No,
that's
but like
fine.
when I use that term social justice warrior,
unfortunately
it has that negative connotation to it, from what I've heard.
Oh, yeah. They love to, all the keyboard warriors, they love that.
But it can have a positive connotation when you're fighting for something that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you just technically breaking down the word itself, you know what I mean? It's wanting equality for all, if you really think about it, in my opinion.
No, it is. It is.
It has been used by people attacking people who maybe are, I don't know, that's where it starts getting into this gray area between like conservatives and like liberals and that kind of stuff. And it's just, it's amazing to me. And by the way, kudos. Sometimes I see you respond back to like the people.
Oh no.
I read this and I was like, at first I'm like, Meghan, like what, how is this? They're not, I don't know. Do you ever see like a positive thing come from it? Like, do you know what I mean?
I mean, like, what specifically are we talking about? Like, what have I said? Because
last video I saw was you didn't even read. You
was
just get
your
offended.
Haters?
You care so much about what other people say when you're making a video that you don't care about what people say, and then you responded back saying, "I never even said that in the video." Smiley face. And I'm like, Meghan.
I like to ask some questions sometimes when they're like, "You're not. This fat bitch isn't even vegetarian." And I said, "Where'd I say that in the video? Can you give me the quote? Can you give me the minute marker?" Just like. It depends on how I respond to people that comment. So sometimes I ignore a lot of them, and recently I've gotten a lot of like really awful comments. Sometimes I engage with them and I just say like I just put a smiley face because that pisses people off so much.
So you do it as an antagonist.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a fuck you. It's like you came and you wasted my time with this comment, and so now I'm just gonna like. Respond. I'm gonna kill him with kindness, in the words of Selena. You know,
but you can't come. Like, what do you respond to that? Like, it's also shuts it down in a way of like.
Yeah, I think.
Cool.
I think it takes. Sometimes like these comments where people have just like really gone to task on me and like said horrible things and I should kill myself and blah blah blah. You stupid cunt. All these things. Which is it happens.
Yeah.
But. Well, they've built up all this anger, and when you respond with just a smiley face or like "awesome, have a good day," it just deflates the entire situation. Where it's so ridiculous, and I think everyone becomes aware of how ridiculous it is.
Are you so for when you respond like that? Awesome, have a good day. You're really meaning it?
Sometimes.
Gotcha. The reason why I'm asking is because I'm curious to know if you said sometimes it is sincere, sometimes it is just as a jab.
Yeah.
I'm always like I just feel like the people who write those in the beginning, it's like, man, I can't even have a conversation with you. Like even though what you're saying is like horrible shit, and this is just from my perspective.
No, absolutely.
I'm just like and adding the internet element, the anonymity. You know what I mean? On their end, you're not so anonymous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
And so they're hiding behind this wall and be like, "You bitch." Like,
that's what. Hi.
Like, so for me, it's just like. I can't have a conversation with you, so bye, or I shouldn't even say that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. And I think I totally respect everyone, like the way that everyone deals with it. Some people don't respond to anything. Some people block every negative, whatever. And that's your channel. That's like your space. I get it. For me, it's like, some days I'm just having a day where I'm like, okay, I need you to know you're not going to fuck with me. And I need you to know you're not going to get to me. Like, gotcha. I need it to be known that I'm not one to be fucked with. And this smiley face is going to do that for me today. Sometimes I actually have a genuine conversation with people. And I'm like, I ask them questions. And then once I break down and they start answering the questions, they realize we're not that far apart in what we think or believe. It's just you're interpreting something I said and you're getting so angry about it when like my intentions are not to do that.
Yeah. Why do you think people misinterpret then so much? Because this is something I noticed.
Yeah.
It's either go Meghan or fuck you, Meghan. There's no in between on your comment section.
No, it isn't. Sometimes there's like I still hate you, but I like this video. Like, thank you.
So why do you think that misinterpretation is happening?
I think, oh God, we're going deep, man. I feel like I'm in therapy right now. I love it.
No, is that cool?
No, let's do it.
I really want to know.
I think that I'm very strong in my opinions and I'm very passionate. And a lot of times when I'm saying things, I'll be very, very irreverent and I'll make jokes. And to me, it's like funny. But to some people, it's like we're on the opposite side of the spectrum. And so they're just, and sometimes it's not even that they're angry at me. They're just filled with so much anger from everything else that's happening that they see me and it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like they're done. And they want to take it all out of me. A lot of times, I mean, people will say things to me that they probably wouldn't say to someone else they watch that maybe they're attracted to or maybe they want to be friends with. So I think that like being especially like a fat girl on the internet, I do get a whole lot of hate that maybe not everyone gets. Like when you look different, you're outside of the norm or you're outside of what is like, you know, stereotypically what people want to see. I think that it comes with a lot of insecurities on their end and a lot of anger towards themselves on certain things. And they feel it's safer for them to kind of vent it at me anonymously than anything else. But at the end of the day, it's like, when I look at comments, I don't mind someone being like, fuck you, or someone being like, I hate this video or whatever. But it's the people that just like, I have these people that are obsessed with like going on every video and leaving something horrible. And at that point, it's just like, okay, clearly the line between love and hate is very thin because when I hate someone, I don't go to their videos and interact with them all of the time. Yeah. I don't sit there and wake up and like, oh, fucking Tom just made a video. I better go leave a comment and tell her to kill herself. Like, that's not what I'm doing. So there's clearly some kind of fascination with what I'm doing or what I'm saying. And if you're so angry that I'm not saying what you want in the way you want, why don't you just make a fucking video? But you won't because you're a coward. So at the end of the day, it's like, do it and do it better, or, you know, give me constructive feedback. Or if you just want to be an asshole, then I'm just going to give you a smiley face. Like, but I think especially recently, because I've been talking about a lot of just issues that are happening in the news right now. And so it's a lot of hot button, like a lot of emotion behind them. I'm talking about Black Lives Matter, and I'm talking about, you know, journalists outing people at the Olympics. I'm talking about all these things that people feel very strongly about. And they go in that comment section and they take out whatever they need to take out on me as a messenger of one side of things. And it comes with a territory for me in some respect. Like I'm willing to take that. I told them in my last video, I made a Dear Haters video. I was like, please, if you feel that you wake up today and you're like, I need to call someone fat and tell them to kill themselves, please come to this video and leave it. Also click my ads. But if you could leave that comment here, because I don't need you going to like some other 15-year-old that's making videos and making that and telling me to kill themselves. Like I'm 30 years old. Everything awful that's ever been said has been said. You can say it here. I'm going to go to sleep easy tonight. It's fine. So
there's a great mentality to have because there's so many people on YouTube that are like, especially I've seen people get started and just the reactions, they just get so overwhelmed by like critique and feedback. And it's like, that's not necessarily the right feedback for you as a performer.
No.
It's like you need to really kind of weigh in your options and stuff like that. I mean, even with our podcast, we probably have some pretty nasty things written about.
Probably. I'll find them.
I write them all, guys.
But you go in, I think it's perspective too. I think you have to go in and you have to, on some level, realize how ridiculous all this shit we do is. Like the fact that I get to sit at home with no pants on and make videos and that pays for my dinner is fucking ridiculous. And it's awesome and it's incredible, but it's also like, I grew up at a time before the internet. So I also have some kind of like, I think I have one foot in the real world and it influences everything we do. It's like, not that the internet's not real or anything like that, but it's just, you have to have some perspective and the ability to like sign off and go outside and realize that not everything is on Twitter, not everything is on Facebook, not everything is in the YouTube comments. It's like, at the end of the day, you can hate me all you want, random person on the internet. I still have a family. I still have people that love me. I still have a job to go to. I still have things that I need to get done. And if I sit here all day and I think, oh man, why doesn't like anonymous 1201 like me? I'm not going to get anything done, you know?
Yeah. That's also the internet itself is also the biggest issue.
Yeah, well, yeah.
For one specific reason, I can read an article telling me why blueberries are healthy, and then I'll read another article saying don't eat blueberries on the internet.
Yes, you will.
And
they're
both
too high
come
in
from
sugar.
reputable sources.
Yeah.
You can get
And
that
so-
on the news, though.
Absolutely. You can get that on the news, but I mean, a lot of people are on the internet
That's
right
true.
now.
But I think even with that and YouTube comments, you have to be able to take both sides of something, what everyone's saying, and then you have to, like, in the middle, find what your actual belief is and, like, pick and choose what makes sense to you and what aligns with what you know. And if you think you're a good person and you wake up pretty happy about things, and then you go into the comments and someone says shitty things and you're like, oh my God, everything's ruined, then you're not as settled into you actually believing those good things about yourself. And you need to surround yourself with different things, I think.
Well, do you mind if I read
please.
something you wrote on your Tumblr?
Oh, fuck. I was like, oh, is he going through Twitter? Because I can only imagine the ignorant stuff I've said there.
No.
Oh, please do.
I like this because you said some stuff in here that's come up, and I think there's one or two things that obviously can be misinterpreted by the people who jump the gun, as I should say.
You know what I think too? The point is, when people jump on stuff sometimes and they're like, it's misinterpreted, I think everyone also has to understand, a lot of us on the internet, we didn't go to school for this. Like, I don't have like a PhD in any of the things I'm talking about. I'm just a person who feels a certain way, has taken things that they've learned and read and seen, and has put that into her life view. So at the end of the day, it's like, I can be wrong, but for right now, I'm trying to cause the least amount of harm and say the truest shit.
I wish that was a quote on everybody's website.
Right? I don't have a PhD in this.
Yeah, and also the fact that this is just my life circumstances and where I'm at in my journey.
And they can change. Tomorrow I might wake up and be like, butt photos are I won't wake up tomorrow and think that butt photos are awful. But like, it's possible. I mean, my life experience could change, so.
That's cool. You keep yourself open to that.
I do.
Yeah. So this was on your Tumblr post. So shut up, Meghan. Let me read.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I have this quote.
I've been seeing some comments on my previous posts pointing out that I'm overweight, therefore unhealthy and undeserving of confidence or respect. Let's set the record real straight. You can't look at someone and know their health. You can't. There are a lot of people of all sizes who deal with diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure. Until you are a doctor and have test results in your hand, you don't know anyone's health, anyone's past, or intricacies of anybody's body. I fucking love that.
God, I sound so smart there. I don't even remember who that Tonjes is.
No, but it's the fact that it's so true. Let's take like diabetes, or heart disease. Mm-hmm. That could be
It's not
genetic.
something that only exists in fat people.
No. Assumption isn't a fact. Also, clean bill of health isn't a requirement for being loved. I love that part.
Yeah.
If it was, there are many friends and family members of yours you would by the nature let me reread this. There are many friends and family members of yours you would, by the nature of your own mindset, need to shame because unhealthy means unlovable. Many of the people pointing fingers drink, smoke, eat processed foods, use chemicals on their skin, hair, and in their homes. You all have the possibility and the probability of dealing with health issues at some point in your life due to lifestyle decisions or genetics, usually a mix of both. Don't pretend to care about the health of a stranger that you know nothing about. I'm going to read just the last few lines, but I just want to say, like, I like to live what I think is healthy for me. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important for each person. And to, like, put your own health views on somebody else, I think is a big problem, too. Because I read that, and I'm like, dude, you don't fucking know.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a big problem with Dr. Phil. And that's just me. I know that was a really
line.
Doctor is questionable.
Yeah.
Mr. Phil.
This guy, Phil.
But again, he's a person with his own circumstances, and
That's true.
So I can't be.
He's not my doctor.
No, and I don't leave the channel when he's on. Or I mean, I change the channel when he's on.
I don't leave the channel when he's on.
I don't leave the channel when he's on. This is country's America. It's disingenuous and shameful. Focus on finding love for yourself so you can share that love with other people. Kindness begets kindness. Wherever you are in your journey with your body, it's important that you love that body. No weight guarantees healthiness. No size guarantees your happiness. #booty revolution.
Hell yeah.
I love
Pat myself on the back for that one.
Well, there's a few things. No size guarantees your happiness. And that's the problem with, I think, with a lot of artists and a lot of creative people. You know what I mean? They think, okay, once I have this thing, that'll be happiness. It has to be an internal thing, regardless of the outside circumstances, I feel like. What do you think?
No, I think it does. I always say that, and I get so much shit for this on the internet, but whatever. I always say being fat is the best thing that ever happened to me. And that's not to say that it doesn't had certain consequences. Like, I've had back issues that have definitely been aggravated by my weight. I've had definitely like certain health issues that have been aggravated by my weight. But I think the perspective of growing up being treated differently based on something that to me was like, this has nothing to do with me as a person. And when I'm 12 years old, I'm not feeding myself McDonald's. So it's like, you know, like how much control do I even have over this at this point? I think that it made me very aware of kind of the fickleness of people based on very exterior things. Yep. And I think it prepared me in a lot of ways for what I do now. And when I look around, it makes me really sad, especially being in Los Angeles. People are so obsessed with like appearance and weight. And I get it because, you know, we inform kind of this medium what we want, and they tell us back what we want. And it's like this weird circuit that continues happening that's just bent on making people unhappy and feel like they're not enough. And, you know, I think that I've just seen the other side of it in a lot of ways. And I've realized that, you know, especially with that quote, a lot of the comments that I get, people assume my health, and the entire time I've been on the internet, have assumed my health and what I'm going through. And it's like, it's really shitty to wake up. And first of all, if you do have a clean bill of health, that you have to sit there and scream to the world, no, I'm healthy, you know, outside of what you think based on looking at me. Or if I do have a health issue, it's like, okay, well, now I can't talk about that health issue because I'm feeding into this belief that all fat people have health issues and therefore we're not worthy of anything. It's like this weird understanding of like, if you just lost weight, you would be happy. And if you just lost weight, I would want to see you. And like, I would take you seriously. And it's like, that's bullshit. You're just looking for another reason to discount me. And at the end of the day, if something I say is right or honest or true, that has nothing to do with the size of me. It just doesn't. And I think, you know, in a lot of ways, I'm just very thankful that I've grown up in different circumstances, and I've seen how people treat other people, and it's made me more empathetic to people. It's made me understand that I don't know anyone's story. I looked at my grandmother, who was like the sweetest person in the world and who had lost a lot of weight, but was still big and was treated. I've lost a ton of weight, and I've gone to a restaurant. People have laughed at me as I'm eating like my one cheat meal in 6 months. And it's like, you just start to have this perspective of it doesn't matter how hard you work in the dark or what you're doing or what your life is. People have no concept of what you're going through. And they're going to treat you however they're going to treat you. So I think, you know, so much of what I do online, whether it's Instagram or it's YouTube, is really trying to build up, because a lot of the people that follow me are like 18 to 30 girls, trying to build them up and be like, listen, when I started this, no one looked like me. There was no Adele, there was no Meghan Trainor, there was no like Beth Ditto, there was no one to look up to. I didn't have any of these people that looked like me that were doing things that were positive. And I got sick of it, so I started trying to do that. Like, just because you don't see it in the world doesn't mean you can't do it or you can't be it. It might be a different path. It's taken me 10 years and still, like, obviously, like, I'm not in certain places, but I'm very content with a lot of things in my life. And I have a lot of things in my life because at the end of the day, I knew how people saw me. I knew how the world saw me. And when you know how the world sees you, you can be absolutely free of it because you don't have to feed into that bullshit. You know, if I get up on stage, especially in the early days, I get up on stage and people would laugh immediately thinking she's gonna be really horrible. And then I get to sing and prove them wrong. I get people that comment on videos and they'll be like, oh, this fat bitch, I hate her. And then 30 seconds into a song, they're like, oh, fuck, I subscribed. I really like this song, or I really like your voice. It's like, okay. So I'm used to having to prove to people that I'm worthy of whatever. But while I'm doing it, I'm really not considering them too much. I'm just doing what I want to do and what I'm passionate about and what I feel like I deserve to be able to pursue regardless of what I look like. So.
Amen. Like, seriously, that was...
Like, fuck it, was I gonna wait until I lost like 100 pounds to write a song? Was I gonna wait until I lost however much to like make a YouTube video? If I had, I would be 10 years behind on everything I'm doing. And I think when you show up, it's like in any situation, if you show up and you're confident in what you're doing and that you like, talent will only take you so far. You can be the most talented person in the world, but if you don't work hard, you're not gonna do anything. So it's like if you have a little bit of talent and you work your ass off, at some point you're going to find a break. You're gonna find the job that's right for you. Someone is going to take a chance on you, regardless of whatever, because they're inspired by the fact that you don't look like everyone else and you're doing what you're doing. And I think people want to cheer for an underdog.
I think wherever you're at in your life and whoever you are going to encounter people who are going to be nasty to you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I just literally heard this story again where I needed to do some more research to figure out if it was Buddha or if it was just this monk who's, I'm just going to say this original story I know. He was traveling through this forest and this man just started berating him, just giving him the most nasty of insults, telling him you're a liar, you're a cheat, you know, like just the most horrible, horrible things. And the monk just smiled. And the guy was so enraged, and so he kept going further.
That's what I do in my comments.
So
You're saying I'm kind of like a monk.
Well, I'm not gonna. Well, hold on, Megan. God damn it, Megan. So the guy gets so enraged, he leaves, and this other guy comes up to him, and he goes to the monk, and he says, "That guy said horrible stuff to you. Like what? Like, and you didn't do anything. Like you didn't even get upset." And he goes, the monk says, if somebody buys you a gift and you don't accept it, who does that gift belong to? It's the person who bought the gift. And so I think, you know, that's definitely something that's resonating in me right now.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But kudos to you for your journey of where you're at and what you've been doing. And I just think it's really tough dealing with a lot of that kind of bullshit with people. I was just going through those comments again, and I was just like, oh shit, I don't know if I can handle this. You know what I mean?
Right.
The one time it happened, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta stop this. I can see how this can escalate. It was the last episode I did for Awkward, and my character did a transformation from this weird awkward emo kid to like a normal college student. And the article or whatever for the web thing was like, Kyle became hot or something like that. That's my character's name.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh.
Oh God.
He's not hot. He's
That's
ugly.
hot to you guys?
Like,
oh yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, okay. This is a stranger. Why is this making me feel like this? So just for kicks and giggles, I went to their profile pics.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, please, I could leave some really...
Yeah.
Like, because that's me who...
But that's
and I'm like, I can't do that.
There is like this desire, like when someone hurts you, you're just like, I want to give it back. Like I want you to feel what you've done to me. But I think so many of the times that I've seen someone leave like a really awful comment, either they don't have a picture, which says all that I need to know, or they have a bunch of pictures, and it's like, you can just tell that someone is also in pain and someone is going through something or doesn't feel good about themselves, doesn't feel empowered by whatever. And when I was... Thank God, like, YouTube wasn't around when I was, like, 9, 10, 11 years old. I probably would have said all kinds of horrible shit to people because they're strangers and I can hurt them and I hate my home life and whatever. Thank God. Every day. I had live journal and that was about it. I wrote fan fiction. That's how I got my things out.
That's so funny you said, because I remember, after that I was like, no, it's fine. I'm just thankful I worked on the show. I had a job. It's great. I could put up with a little bit of that shit. You know, and that kind of, like, levels you down and it grounds you again. I hear Meghan and Jordan, you guys are Buffy the Vampire fans or something like that?
Yeah, I would say that.
I heard that on the interweb somewhere.
Yeah. I used to watch Buffy a lot when I was younger. I made some fan videos. I wrote some fan fiction. I did some RPGs.
Seriously? Did I ever read your fan fiction?
I hope to God not. I wrote some Roswell fan fiction too, whatever. Me and my roommate are trying. We've started. We just haven't gotten into it. A Buffy podcast. We want to rewatch Buffy. You got to come hang out with
I'm
us.
totally there. 100%.
It's called Once More With.
Once More With.
And then when we finish Buffy, we can just go back and rewatch old movies.
Right?
I've been watching it forever. It's going to be awesome.
Okay. Do you ever want to be finished with Buffy? I'm sorry.
I mean, whatever.
You want to start?
I have very strong feelings.
Please.
I have very strong feelings about things like Riley. And
I do have one question for you after this quiz.
I cannot.
Oh, no, you're
And
going
we may fight about it.
That's fine. You're probably Team Riley, and I don't ever want to speak to you again. That's fine.
What's
I am not.
your question? I'm curious.
I want to know Buffy and Angel or Buffy and Spike. Because if you don't answer this right, we're not friends anymore.
Listen,
I've never seen the show, and so like I'm just like, yes.
I was more interested in Buffy and Spike, but then I think the writers completely screwed over Spike, and then all of a sudden made like creepy rapist dude, and I was like, oh Jesus.
Bye.
But you know what? You know her relationship, Angelus. and Faith.
Oh, yeah.
I fucks with
totally
it.
like-
I fucks with it.
I would watch that.
I would just watch an entire
They're
Angelus show.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Their dynamic is crazy.
Yeah.
You're so good at this. You're such a good actor.
Thank you. I practice.
So how do you want us to do this?
So-
is it timed or are you going to go back and forth?
I'm going to go back and forth.
Okay. Oh fuck. I
And
really
you have-
ignored
and you have
season
the,
6 and 7. Shit.
How about we do this? I'm going to go back and forth, and if you get it wrong, the other person can
answer.
steal.
Steal.
And
Ooh.
whoever, if you lose it, you have to remove an article of clothing. That's what it says here.
Fuck, I only have one article of clothing on.
That's
I have 3 pairs of underwear.
again.
Not around
If you get
my
it wrong,
waist.
you have to get a tattoo.
Ooh, I'll do that. I'll do that.
No, both of us.
Not like 6 wrong.
He's just
but-
like, can I start the fucking quiz?
Please. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. Since you are our guest, you get the first question.
Okay. I'm holding this
Who
water.
also auditioned for the role of Buffy? It's a multiple choice.
Charisma Carpenter Cordelia. Suck a dick.
easy. I had that one.
What if I was like, this is her birthday, this is your social security number?
I would bow.
Yeah, suck it.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Sunnydale is 2 hours on the freeway from.
Fuck.
Los Angeles?
I'll give you multiple choices.
Oh.
Sunnydale is 2 hours on the freeway from A. Hank Summers' house.
Oh, shit.
B. Saks. 3. Hudson's. 4. Neiman Marcus.
Oh, my God.
Neiman Marcus.
You're right.
Yes.
Solid. That's a Cordelia
Yeah,
line.
right.
That's a Cordelia line.
Oh yeah.
Megan.
Oh, shit. These are hard, you guys. Fuck.
Buffy is stunned to find out Willow calls her professor by his first name. What is it? Your choices are A. Mike, B. Bob, C. Frank, D. John.
Oh, my God.
Mike, Bob, Frank, or John. Buffy is stunned to
Yeah.
find out Willow calls her professor by his first name. What is?
Oh, my God. This must be like a college episode or something because I have no. Frank.
Jordan for the steal.
Mike.
Ding ding ding.
Yes. Shit.
That's like a season 1 question.
I don't even know.
All right. Jordan.
Willow wasn't my favorite character, to be honest.
What is the name of the exchange student Cordelia's family hosts?
Oh crap.
Oh, my God.
These
Well,
are-
there's
these are
multiple
fucking
choice.
hard.
There's
These are
multiple
difficult.
choice.
Yeah.
Christoph, Hans, Sven, Peter,
Christoph. God, totally. What?
Megan,
Oh god damn
Oh, my God. It's between 2.
Hans, Sven, or Peter.
Sven.
Ding ding ding. Shit, you guys are tied.
it. Ooh.
I believe that's during the Inca Mummy Girl episode, if I can remember.
I've
correctly.
heard a rumor that you can actually pick out a season of Buffy based off of her hairstyle
can.
and a freeze frame.
Usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 more questions,
Okay.
unless it's a tie.
I'm so
All right.
scared.
What's Willow's dad's name? This is bad.
Shit.
What's Willow's dad's name? You got your
Mr.
No, wait,
Rosenberg.
Joseph, Eric, Michael, Ira. IRA? Is that how you say it?
Ira.
Ding ding ding.
She's Jewish.
Of course it's Ira, bitch.
Jordan to tie. And if you don't get it, Megan wins.
You.
Where
Wait.
Where did Cordelia get her cat costume? Partyville, Party Town, Ethan's, Party Central.
Oh, shit.
Wait, are those 3 or 4?
There's 4.
That's 4, bro.
It's
Partyville.
Ethan's.
No, bitch. She doesn't turn into a cat, bitch.
Damn it.
I think it's Party Town.
Ding ding
Ah!
ding.
That's an actual store. That's copyright.
She doesn't turn into a
infringement.
cat. Pay attention, bitch.
Well
Oh,
done.
damn it. You're
Ethan's is
right.
the bad
damn it.
shot.
I got tricked. That was a backhanded question.
Oh, my God.
I salute
oh,
you.
It feels so good to be the winner. Oh, God. Let's do this again soon.
Yes. I'm going to call you up every Tuesday
That's
night.
fine.
We're going to do this.
I used to get those books, like the Buffy, like season 1 through 3 books with like probably all this trivia in it.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
I know a lot of
Megan.
things.
Thank
Can
you
I
so-
ask before we go? Can I ask a question before we go? You guys talked a lot. I did not
It's
get to
true.
say
I'm so
2 words.
sorry.
Can you tell us about Sexish?
Yeah, I can.
Like, I want to know what
I
it's
know, right?
about. Is it already airing?
It's not out yet, so I
Okay.
think they're figuring out where it's gonna live right now. So I did this series with Morgan Spurlock and Maker Studios. It's called Sexish. It's basically every episode is talking about different things, obviously with sex. Kind of the byline is like I'm from the Midwest, so I'm like learning all these things. So like I go to a polyamory house, I see how sex toys are made, I see how real sex dolls are made. I see, I talk to a girl that's transgender. I see a transgender burlesque artist. So like there's all these like really cool conversations that happen, and it's like very inclusive, very like sex ed for like the next generation. And I just kind of was thrown this really awesome opportunity where I got to go and interview people and try out sex toys and like hang out and, you know, every girl's dream. And have cameras around, yeah. No. So, you know, it's, and also I think they like the fact that I was a virgin until I was 26, which is the whole thing. We could have gotten to this podcast, but we didn't. And so I've learned a lot in the past 4 years, and it's been interesting kind of on this show. I'm excited for when it comes out because it changed my mind on a lot of things. So.
Vice has a great documentary series on a couple of the sex industry stuff in Japan.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
No.
You should check them out. One deals with a pornographer in Japan, and the other one deals with like the red light district in Tokyo, and another one deals with a prostitute. And they're probably one of the best like kind of like sex documentaries, if you will. It's very interesting like world, like underground culture. I love like watching documentaries on that, like underground, like the stuff you don't know about. Not necessarily like it doesn't have to deal with like sex or like drugs. It just like could be cultures in general. So it's definitely recommended.
I love that kind of stuff because it's like, especially, I mean, with this show, that's kind of my one reach into it. But there are all these things that come up that probably on the surface level, you're like, ew, like, oh, I don't like that. Like, I don't know about that. And then you meet people, you have a whole different level of understanding, and you empathize with them, and you can see why someone might like something, or someone might be like, you get a more in-depth understanding of something that, you know, we don't hear much about.
Right.
So
that's so funny you say that. The director of that, the Japanese pornographer, he's known for doing really disgusting videos like where women have sex with eels and
you
like
know,
the
everyone's
fish
got
thing.
their things.
Well, no, he said first of all, the reason why he's making them is because people are requesting them, and then the second reason is he won't tell his actresses to do anything that he hasn't tried yet.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, you know what? As much as I don't agree with
I respect
like,
that you're willing to go the extra mile.
I respect that. You know,
oh
like,
my gosh!
You're on the front lines with your soldiers.
Wow.
So on that note, Meghan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Eel porn, guys. Go check out Meghan Tonjes on Twitter and Facebook.
No, seriously, thanks for coming on.
Of course, anytime.
It's added such a unique and a great perspective. I'm actually really glad you came on the show.
Thank you.
And it just enlighten me, and hopefully the people who watch your stuff more and the people who don't like you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's enlightened them.
It's okay. They'll eventually love me. It's bound to happen. You stick around for that long, you're going to love me.
See, I love you now after this show. I mean, before I was leaving this
You're lukewarm, yeah. It's fine. Yo, every view is a view and every click is a click. Right. So
ooh,
pay my rent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Always fun. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Nicole, thank you so much. Thomas, thanks for doing what you do. Gabe, thank you for what you do. Thank you, GPB Studios. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If you guys are liking what you're seeing or hearing right now, subscribe to us on iTunes. Share the word. Share the word?
Share the good word. Do the Lord's work.
Do the Lord's work.
And take a butt photo and use #BootyRevolution. Thank you.
Why not? Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you listeners. And always remember to listen, think, and then talk.